Genothi Seuton, love, peace, blessing, happiness, joy, abundance, health and healing, all manner of prosperity and goodness to you and your family, and happiness. And boy, I wanted to talk about momentum. Momentum is something that is really, really cool. And, we can be, I guess it's almost, we do a lot of times, we just don't know it. We get driven, and we start rushing, and we get under pressure, and feel like we have to get things done, and sometimes it feels like there's a lot of energy. It feels, well, because there really is. I mean, we're expending a lot of energy, but it's kind of always going in the same direction that really isn't for our personal benefit. And that's how people get exhausted, feel burned out. And it may not necessarily be because you're doing so much more, or because we're being productive. We're being, our time is used in an efficient manner. As a matter of fact, there may be a low level of efficiency, but at the end of the day, we're burned out because, again, we're living in fight or flight. We're living in survival. And sometimes that can seem overwhelming too. It can seem, and sometimes when we recognize it, we get into energy teaching, we get into energy understanding, and we see all of this, and we're so accustomed to it, and we repeat it over and over and over again, that it can become very overwhelming when we're making an attempt to change it. But the cool thing is that it doesn't have to be done overnight. And since there's a lot of feeling and a lot of emotion that we are expending into, really a false world, an imaginary reality that we are basically feeling chemically and emotionally in our bodies. In other words, we're feeling, the level of stress like we're being chased by a lion, just when we're sitting at our desk and, the boss walks by. And so the thing is that we're expending that level of energy, but we're not experiencing an event, that equals that level of energy expenditure. And so, it can become overwhelming because, we've been in a habit of this. We have so many memories, but momentum is such a wonderful, powerful thing. And it doesn't take much. All we have to do is, just start making small changes. And when we start making small changes, because most of the, imaginary fight or flight feelings and emotions that we were feeling, again, we're imaginary. When we start just a little bit of momentum in the opposite direction, in the opposite energy, next thing you know, we have huge breakthroughs. And this is something that has been, taught by, kind, loving teachers that wanted to tell us the truth, over history. It's in Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich says that, once people have, been, conscious of their philosophy, that before they know it, there's a breakthrough of riches. They come in such abundance that makes them wonder where they were, all along before that. And that's momentum. Once we hit a momentum, and the false world, or as it's taught in the Hindu tradition. Did I say Hindu? Hindu tradition, the Maya world, the illusion, the Matrix. What happens is that all of that extra emotion that we were piling on ourselves disappears because momentum builds. Our focus is in a different direction. Our focus is on something else. And next thing you know, we have, just a lot of energy and whatever we are focusing on receives that energy, and we get a really, really quick breakthrough. And that's usually what happens when people start a new spiritual practice, and they really, really change their energy. They start a religious practice, and they feel or they're told that they're forgiven, and of course we all are. We're all unconditionally forgiven. We're not living in a guilt-driven path to a judgment seat. But a lot of times when people have that knowledge and they recognize that they have been forgiven, you can tell. I mean, they completely change, and they become a whole new person. And that's what happened. All of this energy that was being that we were feeding into phantoms, that we were feeding into just false realities that weren't even true, yet we were feeding real energy, our real personal energy and emotion into these things. And when there's a break in that form of mind, that habitual mind, that toxic mind, that mind identity that has been imposed upon us, what happens is consciousness is able to shine through, and we're able to be in contact with source energy, which is unlimited. so then what we have is like it seems like an explosion of energy. And when we recognize that and we have a full understanding of why, it's like when we fall in love, and some people call it the honeymoon effect, but it really is just focus, because we're just focusing on love. So it doesn't have to be the honeymoon effect. It doesn't have to wear out. We just recognize that whatever we focus on expands. And so if we want to have a happy, loving, joyful, peaceful, prosperous, abundant, healthy life, that's what we focus on, and that's what expands. And when we do that and we recognize that, we disconnect from all types of blockages and drainages that was consuming our energy, and we start a momentum of positive manifestations. We start to use the programmable matter in a positive, creative way. We recognize that we already have the prophecy and the support in place, not only from all of our ancestors who are here with us now, but with higher beings, higher realms, higher vibrations of consciousness. There's just whole amazing universes and realities and higher races of beings out there that are 100% committed to help and assist us with this. And it's a wonderful thing. And so when we recognize that we can have a positive momentum, if you need healing, that's the place to start, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, start there. Start the place where we're losing the most energy. Recognize that we're not a past. That's the thing about any type of wound or disease or sickness. It requires a past to be able to exist in the now and in the future. But the thing is that in the now, when we are connected to the now, when we are connected to the source, the only reality is now. And the truth is, the only reality that there has ever been is now. So when we make a conscious awareness connection to the now, to right now, there is no past. And so therefore we are not connected to any failures. We're not connected to any contact with sickness or disease. And when we are spend more time consciously, mentally and physically in connection to the now, the past disappears, and also a fearful future. A lot of times when people are dealing with health issues, there's an expectancy. Well, you have this, and it's going to last this long. It's going to do this to you, and so they already projected into the future what's going to happen. But when you make a disconnect from the past, and you disconnect from any type of prophetic future that the past was prophesying, diagnosing, or trying to get you to accept. All that energy is disconnected, and you're in the now. And the now has no past. The now has no lack. The now has nothing but abundance, nothing but unconditional love, nothing but peace, purity, absolute healing, absolute health. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing when we can free ourselves from the false mind, from the ego, from our personal opponent, from our own enemy. Some people, need to free themselves from Satan, Lucifer, the devil. Would you free yourself from all of that influence? And allow yourself to exist in the now, where none of that exists. And you start to allow that presence, that power, that feeling, that emotion, that energy to create a momentum for yourself. It's just amazing how quickly things can change before you know it. As the scripture says, in the twinkling of an eye, we shall all be changed. So this type of transformation, this type of enlightenment, while there's no rush and you can start small, the momentum that it can build up is just exponential, amazingly and incredibly powerful. And once you get it going, once you start it in your life, you don't have to put much energy to it, because when you connect to source energy, when you open the portal inside yourself, inside your spirit, inside your soul, and inside of your own physical body to source, and it is allowed to be able to manifest the tree of life, which is deeply within each one of us, is allowed to radiate all of its life-giving positive energies and sources. Then the whole world changes. Love, peace, blessing, Genothi Seutan, unto you, health, wealth, blessing, unto you and your family. Namaste.